Hey, what is up, guys? It's your boy Kingdom Soldier, and I'm back again with another gameplay slash commentary. Who is Jeremy Olsen? Better known to most of you guys as Neslo TK. Who is this guy? And how come we all know who Neslo is now, but 2 tournaments ago, we had no idea who Neslo was? Some of you that follow competitive Call of Duty may have heard of him from Prime Example, the team that he ran on with Revan. You may have heard of him when all the beef happened and people were saying that he was a sketch and all this kind of stuff. But then he ends up on this team, TK, and they get second place 3 weeks after becoming a team, after joining the Team Kaliber organization. That team used to be VVV. They pick up Neslo, they join Team Kaliber, and 3 weeks later at UMG Atlanta, they get second place behind Complexity, and then they just placed third at PAX in this most recent tournament that we just had. Who is Neslo, and what is it about him that makes him so good that he helped improve this team, who did finish top 8 at MLG Anaheim and did finish top 8 at MLG Dallas, but now has 2 top 3 finishes in the last 2 tournaments that they've done together as TK? Well, Neslo began playing competitive games at 11, and he didn't start with playing Call of Duty. He actually was playing FIFA, Quake. He played Counter-Strike a lot. That's where he actually won and began to be known in the competitive community, was at Counter-Strike. And he even played Halo Reach. He didn't actually start playing COD until Black Ops 1, which I found was very interesting. Now, something that I got to get out at the beginning that me and Neslo don't agree on is that Neslo is a Lakers fan and he's a Dallas Cowboys fan. And those are 2 teams that I really just can't stand, especially the Lakers. But I'm not really worried about them because Kobe Bryant is not going to be back at the beginning of the season. Yes, I am a Heat fan. Yes, I am a LeBron James fan. And yes, I'm hoping for a three-peat. Now that we've got that out of the way, we can continue with this Neslo profile. I found it interesting. You know, he's got some good finishes this year. He's got a couple first places in some LAN tournaments, some online tournaments. He's finished first in 2 of those, and of course, you guys, you know, he's been voted top 15. He was voted top 15 player at MLG Anaheim by Ready Up Gaming. And something that I think makes Neslo who he is that Neslo doesn't want to game for fun. Neslo doesn't want to game for money. Neslo doesn't want to game so that he can get attention. He doesn't want to game so that he can make friends because he can't make friends. Neslo wants this to be his career. And you'll see that when you watch him play, when you hear his shout calling. He leads, he's basically the search and destroy shout caller for TK. That's his role in search and destroy, is to call the shots. And one of the things that surprised everybody at UMG Atlanta is how well, after 3 weeks of playing together, TK played search and destroy. One of the most known comments that you hear all the time by guys like Envy and Optic is that search and destroy wins championships. I've even heard Parasite say that. Search and destroy wins championships. You gotta win your searches, and then you pick up the hard points and the capture and flags that you need, but search and destroy is what wins championships. If you make it to that last game, it's gonna be search and destroy, and that's what wins championships. And somehow, to everybody's surprise, TK came out guns blaring as a great search and destroy team, even though chemistry in search and destroy is normally built over time. And people were amazed. It's one of the reasons why Optic Gaming is so good at search and destroy. And even when they don't play and people think they've been slacking, they play well because they have chemistry as a team and they end up playing search well. So I'm really excited to see what TK is going to do in the future. You know, some things that you might not know about Neslo is that when Neslo was dropped from Prime Example, they said he was being a sketch because he was looking at teams like Envy when they dropped Stainville. He actually hit them up to see if he could get on their team because he believed that the role they needed was the role that Karma was going to play, and nobody knew if Karma was going to say yes. So Neslo reached out to them. He also reached out to Evil when John left Evil to fill Karma's spot on Impact because he knew that he plays that role, and the role that he plays and what he does best for TK is that he plays what's called this like roaming submachine gun player, or a selfish sub. And basically what that means, it's kind of like exactly what they've allowed Karma to do on Envy, is like everybody almost kind of rotates around him. Like Neslo in Hardpoint, yes, he's going to play the objective, but he's basically can go where he wants on the map. He can roam around, he can get kills wherever he wants, and he just needs to call out and tell everybody where he's at. But because he's a good slayer, almost like a Scumpy as well, you know, he's able to just roam around the map. And people, a lot of teams have learned that you need that player on your team to win hardpoint. You need a roaming sub player. Now, you can't really roam as a submachine gun player on Capture the Flag. So on Capture the Flag, Neslo, he plays objective. He goes for the flags, he goes for the returns, things like that. And then, like I said, he's the shot caller for S&D. And one last thing I want to tell you guys that I think is very interesting is that TK has a weird strategy for Search and Destroy, which obviously works for them, being that they haven't played together for too long. What they do is they don't do a lot of small talk during the game. They do their small talk in between rounds. While they're playing, they don't talk a lot because they run set plays. Like they have, this is what we're going to do first round, and then they see what the other team did, and then they, in between that round and the second round, they'll say, let's run this play. You go here, you go there, and they know where each other's supposed to go. They know who's responsible. They know what they're supposed to be doing, and they just have to try to get the kills that they're supposed to be getting. So I'm actually really interested to kind of watch some of that S&D gameplay to see how that works, and I am happy for Neslo because before UMG Atlanta, he was known basically as like an amateur online warrior. That's how people saw him. When he would play eights and all that kind of stuff, people saw him as an amateur online warrior that would never be anything more than an amateur online warrior. And a lot of the Prime players actually were seen that way. I think people respect Revan, of course, because he's a shoutcaster and all that. And he's gone back to that, which is good because he does a good job of it. And he should probably stick to that because, you know, I'm not saying he's a bad player, but he does a good job of it. But Neslo definitely deserved to get him to find himself on a team that was as committed as he was and that wanted to take this thing for the long haul. And TK has some great plans for Ghost, and a lot of people are predicting that Ghost is going to be the fastest Call of Duty ever, that it's going to play like more like an arcade type of game. And Neslo, he says in interviews that that's his perfect game type. So go ahead and look in the comments, guys. You're going to see Neslo's YouTube. Check him out. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. He's only got a couple thousand subscribers. He deserves more. His Twitch is in the description as well, and his Twitter. You know, follow him on Twitter if you guys are into competitive gaming and all that kind of stuff. He's only 18 years old. He's got a bright future ahead of him, so I'm interested to see what happens at Columbus and Gfinity and all these other tournaments that are coming up. We'll see where TK lands, and I don't know who I'm going to do next, but let me know if you guys like this or if there's some different type of information that you want in these profiles that I can give you guys when I do. I think I'm going to do one of the complexity players in the next one. I'm just throwing that out there. That's probably what's going to happen. So tell me what you guys want to actually know about the players now that you've given me a list of the players that you want to see. This is your boy Kingdom Soldier, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.